It's time for Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. Live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. What's that? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, James. I didn't know you'd sent a picture, but yeah, we got the purslane picture, and Calvin is confirming it's purslane, so that's cool. All right. Hey, welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. I'm Milton Glueck, along with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. On a pretty day, it's a little humid, but it's okay. Come on out to Milberger's and have a good time. We got a full show for you today at 1 o'clock. We're going to have Adriana Quinones. Yes.
Just think of the famous national reporter who's from here.
Quinones, who's also from here. Well, she's from here now. Okay. But anyway, she is with Arboretum San Antonio. She's the CEO. And for her, it's all about the trees, and we are going to talk to her about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, also some good opportunities for you to learn about some volunteer things to get kind of ahead of the game because they're just starting. So anyway, it's going to be a fun interview at 1 o'clock. Also, since it's Father's Day, we. If you want to call in and talk about your dad and the influence that he had on your gardening, we welcome that. And you can even just email me, just Milton, M-I-L-T-O-N, at KLUP.com, Milton at KLUP.com. And yeah, I'll just share it on the air if you're too shy, but you still want to recognize him. But yeah, our call is at 210-308-8867. So let's see, what else is going to go on? And I can. You said yesterday your grandmother and father were.
Yes.
Okay.
So his mother, who was born in Alberta, Canada, in a sod house.
Oh wow! Ooh.
And then the family moved to Montana, but she was influential on me. And then my father was a great flower.
Oh, really?
His specialty was geraniums, so I'd always try to buy some geraniums and
kind of honor him.
That's
cool.
And he was a great waterer.
Oh, okay.
And I learned that, you know what? It's not so much fertilizer. It's just watering at the right time.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll
talk about how to water properly.
Yeah, we can discuss that. In my case, Dad wasn't a flower guy, but he loved the yard, and I really have to go back to the old house and see if anything is left. So we got a fig tree that he loved, but so did the birds.
I'm sure that in New Orleans,
yes,
it was not just a fig bush; it was actually a fig tree.
Oh, okay.
Was it big?
It was a bush. It was. It was
okay,
bushy.
Okay, I would say you could let them grow there. They got plenty of water.
It was right next to the weeping willow. Which I know, but I like them. I learned how to fall to the ground from a weeping willow. I had to get off the roof, and I said, okay, I'm just going to grab a branch of a weeping willow. Can you think of anything that might go wrong if you are trusting a branch to let you?
Well,
they're kind of
ideally, it would allow you to drop slowly.
It did not.
It did not. No.
I scraped off all the leaves and landed on my butt. And then we had a pecan tree.
Now that is confusing. I thought maybe that's how you got your concussion, but it was on your butt. Huh?
It was on my butt. Yep. Yeah. The concussion is a different story. No, I grabbed the things and was just going to kind of but yeah, and it just went shh, and yeah. But the pecan tree, I wonder how we finally got pecans. It took a while, but yeah. So that was his kind of thing. He liked the trees that produce stuff that we could eat. So, that was his thing. We used to sit on the patio and just watch the trees and the birds. And I don't know if it's my mom or dad that got the Purple Martin house. I know they both enjoyed it. But So anyway, if you got a story, you can call and tell us. And like Mark did, honor your dad with like the geranium story. But anyway, okay, I need to figure out how to get a fig tree for my dad for the yard. And they're on sale, by the way.
I was going to say, they're on sale.
Yeah, they are.
And Calvin talked about them yesterday
He did
in his
talk about
article.
Yeah, they're easy to grow here in San Antonio. At least three varieties
Yeah.
that are productive and easy. And in fact, we should be harvesting, summer gardeners should be harvesting figs soon, within a couple of weeks.
Good, I hope so, yeah.
And the birds are in line there,
Yeah.
except they don't stay in line very well. They like to be at the front of the line.
The in-law fig tree, he showed me pictures. They're still small and green. So we were going to get figs from him and try to make the preserves or something. But he's saying, don't come now because they're not ready. But anyway, yeah, that'll be good.
Now, this year, too, they may be a little slow because of the...
Oh, the weird weather? The heat.
Now, well, we finally got a bunch of rain, but that may not... Are they in New Orleans?
No. They're here in San Antonio.
Okay. Yeah,
and they've tried to kill that fig tree a number of times.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's not, yeah, it's tough. So they decided to just let the birds have them and enjoy them. And it's like, well, can we enjoy a few before the birds do? So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. And I miss our pecan tree. We had one in the neighborhood that we lived in Alta Vista, which was interesting. And I don't know, maybe you'll know. I don't know if I've said this to you. If you stood at that pecan tree and looked to your left and looked straight ahead, because you're looking at the pecan tree, you could see pecan tree on your lot and pecan tree on the next one and pecan tree, and they were all in a line.
That would sound to me like they were planted long ago.
You think they were planted before the neighborhood was built? And they built
No, as they were building the neighborhood.
Okay, and so they just planted them in a row?
Yeah.
Well, in my neighborhood, they were planted
Before the
houses.
Okay.
So, you see that same pattern. Although with this drought and those freezes, a lot of pecans are really
not
taking
so
it on the
much.
chin.
Yeah.
Especially if you live in a neighborhood where the soil is not very deep, because they are traditionally they prosper when they have a lot of soil. I remember, Mark, and I'm sure you've seen reference books where they have pictures of the pecans on the side of a cliff with the roots going down
On the side.
25 feet.
If they can get oxygen, the tree roots will grow. Oxygen is the limiting factor.
Like on the stream bed or on the cliffside.
All right, so Nell, you can call us with your memories at 210-308-8867. We got a big show, and we start off with an email from Nell. She wants to know, Calvin, she's going to join your support group. What happened to the whopper begonias? Can they be propagated?
Well, Milton and I have been talking about that. We've been patient so far. What bothers me the most is that we haven't been able to get definitive information about why they're not available in our market. It's not just here at Milberger's, but it's the nurseries. A lot of the nurseries that we work with closely that are not getting access to them too. So.
Okay, and can they? And you and I are trying to propagate them.
I suspect it was the freeze and big sales. And then when they got caught without a lot of plants to not germinate but to reproduce vegetatively.
Oh, okay.
But maybe there's some other reasons. We'll keep
looking because they're great plants to have. The ones in the back of the ones in the back of the house. Oh, you haven't seen our house. The ones that we put there are struggling. They're leggy, but they're coming along. They're kind of adapting, and trying. But the one in the front looks real good. I'll have to take a picture.
Why are
of
they
it.
leggy? Is it
I don't know why. It just
not too much sun, or is it very little sun? Or?
No, I think it's enough sun. Maybe not enough. I guess it's possible. They're by a fence. So it's possible at some point in the day the sun goes behind the fence.
They traditionally don't need much sun.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But they do better if they got a little, just
Okay.
like our pentas.
And maybe, too, I should kind of cut them. Maybe those are the ones I should use for the thing and kind of get them closer to the ground so they're coming up from a smaller thing.
Well, yeah, all those stems should be, if you do any cutting, those stems should be relatively easy to get to produce roots.
To get to the roots or just
To produce new roots.
to produce new roots? Okay. But yeah, so we'll see. So how could Nell propagate them if she has them?
Well, I'm gonna just do I'm gonna cut some stems.
Okay.
Like we normally prune them in the fall when they get kind of tall and leggy, and then I'm just going to stick them in some reasonable soil. And see if we can't get them. I suspect that they'll be relatively easy to get the roots to grow. And
we'll see.
If there's, I'm sure there's some gardeners out there in our audience that have done that. Even maybe if it's just accidental, have got have pruned some of the stems off, and then have stuck them in the pot or in the garden and got them to root. So if you have had an experience,
tell us.
Let us know what
That'll
you
be a
did.
big help. 210-308-8867. Call us and tell us your whopper stories and propagation. And speaking of that, I have a question for Mark.
Yes.
Okay. So I did some research last night.
Based on our conversation
About
yesterday?
tomatoes, yes.
The tomatoes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. What other conversation did we have?
We had a crepe myrtle.
Oh, yeah.
conversation.
I haven't done that yet. I do need help on that, too. Is that the same practices I would use on the Whopper begonia, but on the crepe myrtle? Really?
Yeah, but
cool.
you're going to be limited to softwood.
Yeah.
stems.
From the crepe myrtle or from the...
No, from the Whopper.
Okay, we can discuss that in a minute, but... So see if this sounds right. The instructions I read on getting seeds out of the tomato were to cut it in half,
Yes.
scoop out the seeds and put them in a glass,
Oh, in a glass. Okay.
and put the water above. Well, yeah. Tell me what you know. Put water in the jar, seal it airtight, and let it sit for almost a week until it starts to ferment a little bit. And then you take it out and you rinse it out again. So rinse out all the yucky stuff, and then strain the pulp and the stuff. So you just have the seeds, and then put the seeds on newspaper or paper towels to dry them. Does that sound about right? What do you think?
I wouldn't go through the fermenting process.
Yeah.
I'd go through several rinsing to get all the mucus off.
And then put them
And then put them on the paper towels.
Okay, so let's talk about how that looks. So I've scooped everything out and I put it in a jar.
Jar, and then water, maybe running water.
Okay, am I putting it like in a, not a colander, but a...
Yeah.
Well, why are you putting it in a jar? I mean, you're just going to rinse them off.
I just saw what they
Yeah.
said. I follow instructions.
Yeah. I'm trying to get rid of that slimy mucus around the seed. I'm trying to get the seed individual, and so I can dry it out then.
Now, okay, so rinse until there's nothing but seed left, and then just put them on paper.
Paper towels. Yeah.
Okay.
And paper might be a good idea. Combination of both. Put the paper towels on top of the paper.
I've heard us talk about putting them on newspaper. We can put them right on Calvin's article. Kind of get that karma going from your article.
It's a little easier to.
Yeah, what did you suggest?
Paper towels I like better than newspaper, but I think both would work.
Yeah.
But how they're doing that is just drying them out, right?
Yeah, I'm apparently going to have, if I use Mark's method, which is much quicker and requires much fewer weeks.
Yeah. I don't understand why you're doing it. Do you, Calvin? I'm just trying
do
to
you
get rid of
understand
it.
the fermenting thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so. I'll try that too. That's going to be easier.
And then they are so small.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to collect them into I'd rather use paper. I'm always a paper guy rather than plastic. So I'm trying to get them in a. You know, it'd be really cool.
What?
After they all dried out, is those little brown manila envelopes. You know, they're like
we use for
2 inches wide. Yeah.
Where do you get those?
I don't know.
You get them at a office supply store.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to just.
I mean, even a regular envelope, but that's because they're so small. You want to get.
So, I did notice on the 8148s, there aren't many seeds. Is that just my imagination, or you think that?
I don't know.
That goes back to my conspiracy ideas that the tomato companies, the seed companies, want you to buy plants.
Okay.
And so that's the few seeds in there. That maybe they breed them out. I don't know. It just goes along with my conspiracy theories.
Well, that's just one of the,
Kennedy
it's kind of like
on a tomato, and nobody knows this.
Well, so like the watermelons, it's
the seedless
that
watermelon.
breeding is kind of a process to get the quality they want, and it can be the same in the tomatoes too.
So, okay, well, I will try your method, y'all's method of just watering, and then. Eventually, is all the pulp and all the things I scoop just going to go away, or I got to pick it out, or
hopefully,
okay,
yeah, but you may still have to do some manual.
You're going to rinse,
okay. Well, I've got
and then you put on that. That's why a paper towel works pretty cool. But
am I dumping everything on there?
And so, it's the Calvin's right. You're going to try to rinse as much as possible, and then you're going to put them on the paper towel, and you may have to pick out
the seeds.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have another question which Laura asked me, and it actually was one of those things where you went, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So if I were going to plant tomatoes by seed right now, I'm sorry, would I do it by right now for the fall?
Yes.
Okay. So her question to me, which
middle of June.
Why are you're?
No. I'm like backtracking. And
It's
so
1
is
month.
Calvin.
1 month.
Yeah.
Oh, to get to okay.
So that's why I was doing this. I was like, 4 or 5.
Laura brought up something that Trace brought out a while back about this. She said, "Why don't you just take the slice of tomato with the seeds in it and plant it in a pot?" Oh, yeah, that might work too.
Well, some of them will come up because you know when you dump some pieces of tomato in the compost pile, you
do they sprout?
You get some seeds that germinate. Yeah.
That begs the question: do you need to remove the pulp at all?
Oh well, not if I'm just going to plant the pulp.
Yeah. See, but you're going to be planting.
If I wanted to save the seeds for later,
yes.
Yeah. So
I have a question now. You weren't able to get any of the BHN 69.
No, I couldn't get them to do anything.
That's scary.
I know it is scary
because they're
happy as could be at your house.
Yeah.
I think I may have waited too long. Plus, I wasn't as good a gardener back then. You should see me, and I am Mr. Squash. I am Milty Zucchini.
I'd like to know some of the men's garden club.
Oh yeah,
call in because that's who I gave my seed. I was speaking. That week and on fruit trees, and I had the packages of BHN and maybe also the gold
the Ruby Crush. I'm sorry, the gold Rio Grande Gold.
Rio Grande Gold, and I gave them to John because he was first to raise his hand.
Oh, good. Way to go, John.
John needs to call up.
Yeah, John, we want to hear a report. 210-308.
I don't know. Yeah, I think he does listen to radio. So.
Okay, John. Cool. Well, call us if you're listening. We want to hear how it went.
Or anybody else.
Are we going to ask him to bring us some?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just don't tell him.
Yeah, just don't tell him. Or anybody else who has talked with John at the Men's Garden Club, which, of course, is the first Thursday of every month at the San Antonio Garden Center.
In the evening. All right. 210-308-8867. That's the number to call. Nell, I hope that answered your question about the Whoppers. We're going to take a quick break and come back in a moment. 210-308-8867. If you don't call in, I got more questions. Back after this on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Milton Glueck along with Mark Peterson and Dr. Calvin Finch sitting here at Milberger's. We're at 1 o'clock. Adriana Quinones. Quinceañera. I'm really messed it up. I'm sorry. Quinones will be here, and she's going to talk with us about Arboretum San Antonio. You're going to like this at 1 o'clock, so be sure.
I don't want to steal any of her thunder. But
okay. She's going to do great. Yeah. All right, so 210-308-8867, but let me take a second to talk to you about Pruski's Market. If you're looking for great food, now today's Father's Day, so you probably already have plans and everything. That's okay. Every day should be Father's Day. So you can go over to Pruski's Market and get outstanding meat. You can get natural beef like the Yanta cuts that have no antibiotics and no growth hormones. You can get the pinwheels, which are absolutely great. You can get all kinds of great stuff. Great poultry, great rabbit, terrific sausages, including potato sausage. So lots of good bacon, all kinds of great stuff right there at Pruski's Market. And it's an old-fashioned meat market, which means you get outstanding service, too, meaning that you can talk to the butcher right there. That's who you're talking to, when you're going up there and you say, yep, there's just two of us, what do you suggest? We're trying to do this, or how much should we get? They'll help you. That's great, because that doesn't seem to happen much anymore. Pruski's Market, the quality you like, the service you deserve, 10410 Highway 87. But go to Pruski'sMeatMarket.com. Pruski'sMeatMarket.com, open today till 5 o'clock.
Till 5?
Yep. So, all right, go check them out. You'll thank me, I promise you. You'll be back time and time again. All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Looking for Father's Day stories. If your father influenced your gardening, you can call us up and tell us what was it about, or you can just email me, milton@klup.com, and I'll relay it on the air. All right, so I have another question. You ready?
Yes.
I'm not going to show it to Mark because Mark was snotty.
No, Mark is going, please call. Please call.
So
help me.
you don't have to see the pictures? All right. Where is it? Where to go? Oh, okay, yeah. So we saw these in the neighborhood as we were walking the dog. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Okay. And they smell great in the morning. And we want to know what they are and can we buy them? And they're a nice little patch of them.
I think it's the Rudbeckia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Son.
What's that? Yeah. I mean.
Well, but that Rudbeckia is it's a big category.
Yeah, that's why I said Rudbeckia instead of Black-Eyed Susans because, I'm covering myself.
Oh, which one? Are they both fragrant?
I'm
is
not
Rudbeckia
sure about
fragrant?
That. Yeah. I've never.
It's got a sweet.
I've never thought of them that way. You know, it's. Let
me Google this bad boy.
It's an attractant to pollinators and what have you. So
they're a bit undisciplined.
Yeah. But again, think of your English cottage garden. That's kind of what they're best in.
Butterflies love them.
Oh, are they the cone flowers? Or this is Rudbeckia, kind of Black-Eyed Susan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that kind of what
it's a really small bud.
Small one. Well, that's like Calvin said, that's a large family.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we want the scent. It's
you know what else is blooming again?
What?
the coreopsis, which surprised me with the big rains.
Mm-hmm.
They were everything was gone, and I started mowing, and then of course the rains came and couldn't mow for a while, and then now they're the blooms all over in the area again.
If you think yourself a brown thumb gardener, and you want a plant that's almost indestructible and guaranteed to flower for you, coreopsis.
Okay.
And there's several different kinds. The breeders recently, because I was looking up one for somebody, and I noticed that there are several different kinds now.
This kind of looks like the coreopsis because it's in a big bushy thing like that. See the picture? You don't think this is coreopsis?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Well,
The flowers of it. Look at the flower petals. Coreopsis tends to have a ragged edge.
Okay.
On the flower petal.
Is
And
coreopsis fragrant?
No.
Okay, then it's not coreopsis.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think these plants are fragrant in the way that we would think of them as. Pollinators probably think they're quote air quote fragrant because they're always going to them.
What was the fragrance like?
What kind of fragrance? It's a sweet fragrance, not real strong, almost like a licorice.
Okay.
Oh, licorice.
Licorice. Well, we know what a licorice plant, but they don't usually have flowers right now.
Oh, okay.
Mint marigold, Mexican mint marigold.
What Laura has said is in the morning when she walks the dog, she smells them, but she doesn't smell in the evening. So we just figure either the morning is thicker or.
Have you got deer?
No.
Oh, okay. Because the mint marigold, the deer don't eat them.
Oh, okay. And could this be mint marigold?
Well, no, I don't.
Because that's a fall. Usually we consider Copper Canyon daisy and mint marigold.
It's even after fall aster.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
But it has that same bush look on it.
Well, there's many a student at A&M or other places doing their plant identification. Dendrology is tree identification.
Oh, okay.
Would throw their hands up in despair for another one of those yellow flowers.
Oh.
There's.
This is pretty though.
Well, if you got a wildflower
adjectives in front of that.
If you got a wildflower book, and it organizes the flowers by flower color, you'll have about 9 pages of
wise investment. Is Texas wildflowers, and they're arranged by flower color.
Okay, Calvin. So Siri says it's either a chocolate daisy or a zinnia. I don't think it's a zinnia.
No, it's a zinnia. Maybe a chocolate daisy.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never heard of chocolate daisy before.
Well, yeah, I've heard of it. It's like oxide daisy. It's not one, or four-nerve daisy. There's lots of these daisies that are not prevalent in the landscape, but probably should be used more. It's that composite family, although they changed the composite family to the aster family, I think. But yes, it was the adjective, and then it was blank yellow composite.
Are they
another one of those blank yellow?
Are
composites.
they planted? I mean, are they?
Yeah, it's actually in a bunch in a bundle in the yard.
Okay.
So it's purposely
mounded,
rounded.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's a mound.
Yes.
Spikes and mound, everyone. Spikes and mounds. That's what you're looking for in South Texas landscapes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep looking, but I'll have to get some chocolate daisy seeds. Or some coreopsis seeds.
Or take another picture from a different angle. Maybe it'll show something else.
Okay. And
are you using Seek? Or iNaturalist? Or what are you using?
Oh, I don't know to tell what it is.
Yeah.
I just asked Siri.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what Siri, I think, found it on Wikipedia, which we know how reliable that can be.
Yes.
Okay. 210-308-8867. I think I'm out of questions. 210.
No, the one that we talked about.
Oh, yeah. You want to go on that?
Yeah, let's just go on
Go
that.
for it.
Unfortunately, I didn't do the follow-up research on that, which one it is. Maybe Trace will come up and tell us about it. Is he here today?
Yeah, he's wandering around. He's working.
So
He's working.
the question that Milton asked me is, if I wanted to propagate crepe myrtle, how would I do that? And I said, well, probably by stem propagation. Which size or what type? Well, we have different types. We have soft, semi-soft, and hardwood. And I don't know exactly which one you would use, but probably not soft. You'd probably use semi-soft.
Okay.
And then you'd cut that appropriately. And remember, I said take off the leaves and the flowers and these. But your flowers are gonna go because that's not the part of the twig you're gonna cut. And then I would use a little rooting hormone and stick it in some perlite.
And keep it moist? Okay.
Not wet.
No.
Moist, not wet.
And then the instructions I read, too, said to cut off everything, all the leaves except for the top.
I was getting to that. It said I'd take off everything but two leaves.
Got a question from the crowd? Or
Yes. Yeah. Yes, a question from the crowd. It's an angel. It's Angel Janet.
Oh, okay.
Janice.
Whoever is not on a carbohydrate restricted.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. And
Okay.
I also brought you that compost bin I told you about.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So there are gifts.
Oh, wow.
Again,
Yeah.
Angel Janice.
Thank you.
Just put it on the ground.
Yeah. You want to talk in the mic a sec or no? Okay, so
I would hope that
yeah.
maybe Millburgers would like them and would purchase them.
Oh, I don't know. And do you want this back or?
No, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So put it on the ground.
And you just put clippings and stuff in it. You can throw like
Okay.
lots of
She
dirt.
needs to be on the radio.
Yeah, if that's okay. Grab the mic.
Yeah.
So this is what did you buy?
Well, a long time ago, I went to a water saving course over at the Botanical Gardens.
Oh, okay.
And I want to say it was sponsored by Saws.
It probably was.
And they sold these static composting bins. It's like a Rubbermaid roll that you screw together, and it makes about a 3-foot diameter bin. It's got air holes on the side, but it's hollow. You know, there's no top and there's no bottom.
Okay.
You put it in a part of your yard that you don't use very much, and you throw clippings, you can throw food, you can throw dirt, leftover fertilizer, whatever you want in it.
Oh.
And mine,
No meat, no fats.
No protein products.
Okay.
but I never did, sift mine or turn it.
Oh.
It was static. And about once a year, you go out and lift it up, and the stuff on the bottom
Yeah.
is the good stuff, and then you put the newer stuff back in the bottom.
Okay.
Anyway, it makes great compost.
Cool. Well, thank you.
And it's
All
like
right.
it's a very easy way to compost.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. So, okay. Well, we're gonna take a quick. Oh, yes, sir. You have a.
No, I just worried about her stepping on her glasses that she
No,
got.
I won't.
Your glasses dropped?
Yeah.
Oh.
Big deal.
No, it is a big deal. Okay, be careful getting them. We'll take a break so you can gently get them, and I'll thank you. So, all right, 210-308-8867. More of Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, coming up. Be careful on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, where Janice has been so sweet, and she's going to help me do some composting. But I did ask her what was happening in her yard, and what's happening in your yard.
Well, with all this rain,
Yeah.
the Wedelia, which is a green ground cover underneath my oaks, has gone to town, and it's almost 2 feet tall in places, and it's blooming yellow flowers. So
Ooh, neat.
it definitely is enjoying the high humidity and the water level.
It is high humidity. That's cool. What is it, Wedelia?
Wedelia.
There's two different
Yeah, we've
kinds.
talked about that before.
Yeah, there's a native one and imported one, and we usually try to differentiate that and by calling the native one the native Wedelia Zexmania. But there's always a problem with, because Zex, it's with a Z. Zexmania always has kind of...
It sounds
different than what it should, yes.
Okay. I think I know where he's going with that. Now, are you in any of the gardening groups?
Well, I am a lifetime member of the Men's Garden Club, but I
cool.
rarely attend.
Oh, no.
And I do belong to my neighborhood garden club, and I do go to things at the garden center from time to time, but I just don't get out as much as I used to.
Okay. Well, and then, Mark, when is this Thursday for the Men's Garden Club?
First Thursday of the month.
Is that so it's already happened?
Yes.
Oh, dear. Okay.
The July one might be moved if that's the 4th of July. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, that means
stay tuned. I'll keep you apprised of the location and dates.
Most of my gardening knowledge has come from listening to the experts on the radio.
Oh, dear.
So,
well, good. We're glad we could have helped you. Do you have any advice for other gardeners out there, since you were...
I think organic is the way to go.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Now I remember you came and talked to us. Yeah.
I don't like using chemicals. I had dogs for years and didn't like them out in the backyard.
But you know there's organic chemicals too.
I was displaying my hands in reference to the paws.
Oh.
That's what I was...
Yeah. But I don't like to do a lot of intervention. I let things, sometimes if I have a volunteer start up, I just let it go.
Good for you.
So I've got several 6-foot-tall loquats that have started themselves and a couple of 6-foot-tall Texas mountain laurels that have seeded and grown.
That's interesting.
So anyway.
The loquat I get, how do the mountain laurels seed? Are they buried by squirrels or...
No, they fall on the ground and somehow if they lay there long enough, sometimes they sprout.
Okay, I told
you I didn't intervene a lot.
Rainwater, maybe.
Oh, maybe so, because they get tough.
Yeah.
Do you do any fruits and veggies besides the loquats?
No, I have mostly shade, so it's very difficult.
Okay.
Mostly like 99% shade.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
So you need to do what I used to do, which was I did container veggies, because we had a big pecan tree, and we had like this much sun, which is about a foot of sun, and so I did containers and just put it in that thing and just,
I know, but Milton, I could plant containers all day long, and they're not going to be in the sun.
Oh, dear, man, you have a lot of sun.
Yeah.
You have a lot of shade. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, you can put them in the front yard along the street, but then the HOA may not do it.
I don't have any shade. I mean, I have nothing but shade on the front. Anyway.
Okay, well, cool. Thank you.
I bought my house because of the trees, so what can I say?
Okay.
Yeah, well, in San Antonio, if you had to choose between an effective lawn or shade, or even some color and shade, you take the shade.
Yeah.
I have no grass.
Oh, okay.
My front yard is either ground cover or I have a large mulch bed, which is just native live oak leaves that gets blown over there. In my backyard, I have decomposed granite pathways, a lot of ground cover, a lot of beds. And then I have one area that I save for the dogs. It's the pooping oval. And that even has no grass. It's just horse herb.
Oh, okay.
So
dogs don't care.
No, they like it.
But I like your idea on the crushed granite trailways. That's what my wife was thinking about too. She was like, "Why don't we just? I've seen this around where they just use crushed granite rather than rocks or pebbles or stuff like that." So,
well, it's good.
Good, cool.
All right, guys. Well, I enjoy the show.
Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. That was very sweet. All right, 210-308-8867.
You want to take your rest of your brownies with you?
No. It's the Angel Janice.
Okay. Angel Janice. Okay. All right. 210-308-8867. 210, yes, sir?
I was going to say, let's talk about that. I don't know how she laid her granite.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of people put the landscape cloth down and then the granite. And I would rather have you lay multiple layers and pack that in or roll it so that it's crushed and really firm, and then have it. That is no landscape cloth.
Okay.
And because invariably within a couple of years, there's some erosion, and you start seeing the landscape cloth.
Oh.
And by the way, the landscape cloth doesn't prevent weeds from coming in. So.
Okay, yeah. She found one that has 2 colors in it.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. It was put back by someone, and I noticed it, and I didn't mention it on the air. But there's a plumbago with 2 colors.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
210-308-8867. Calvin, you want to talk about what you wrote about yesterday?
Well, I was going to mention that we had, you were talking about the crushed granite. We got a grant, and this was a number of years ago, for a youth gardening program, and we did a lot of paths. We had projects, and did a lot of crushed granite paths, and we used to put a layer of sand down, and then on top of that we put the crushed granite, and that worked pretty well. I mean, it was a big job at the beginning, but the good news was that the maintenance was relatively easy, and it was attractive, and had I don't know, what made me curious to think, it's been probably 10 or 12 years. I would like to see what it looks like now. But I'm sure it's, probably a few weeds, but relatively, and that crushed granite, relatively easy to control weeds, too.
Yeah, you can. I like that is, if you compact it enough, you're going to get few weeds. But when you do get a weed, you can take care of it very quickly.
Very easily.
Speaking of weeds, I did applied sedgehammer this morning to my...
to your sedge?
Sedge, yeah. And we'll see. It was just... if anybody has tried the sedgehammer lately, it's now in these little teeny packets, a little bit of powder, and you just put it in a gallon of water, and then mix it in. And
do you
then
have to tie it to attach it to a hose, or you just put the product?
Where you put it in the spray.
Okay, backpack sprayer or large.
Yeah, and that was relatively easy. It doesn't no longer. In fact, it says do not add any surfactant or anything. Yeah, because it'll disrupt the chemistry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it says do not store it.
Really?
Like a grass be gone. No. You can store the powder in the package.
Yeah, but not the gallon that you made.
Yeah, because grass be gone. That store, you can let that sit for a few weeks.
Were you applying it to the nutsedge in preparation?
That's right.
For the nutsedge in preparation for you expect it to expand all over the place, or were you already getting expansion?
It was in my new rose bed, and it was very established. The nutsedge was established. I had done a pretty good job of controlling the Bermuda grass. And the nutsedge filled that gap really pretty quick, and so some of them were pretty big. And then I also had looked on the internet.
Hang on, Nancy.
Internet, and it said that sedgehammer worked in a rose bed. So I'm trying it.
Oh, okay.
If I'm in tears in my eyes, and you'll know that it killed the roses.
Yeah, it didn't do.
But that's very common, nutsedge in a rose garden, because you tend to add wood chips and compost over time, so it's a nice, rich environment.
Nancy's been on the line. It's my fault, Nancy. I didn't see that you were on the line. So welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. How are you doing?
Oh, Very good. Happy Father's Day to you all.
You too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're talking about weed killer, and that's what I'm calling about. This rain has really produced weeds galore, and I've got areas of garden area that I want to kill the weeds, and then my husband is also planting the lawn and noticing weeds coming up from there, and so that's what I'm calling on, is what weed killers can we get to knock down these weeds?
What kind of weeds are they?
I don't know. Just general variety of weeds.
Are they broadleaf or are they grassy or?
No, this is what I call broadleaf. If I could pull them, but it's also that thing is my back is bothering me, so I can only work for so long, and I didn't realize how big they've gotten. So it's in one area it's just these broadleaf weeds, and then in the other area, an old garden, there is the what kind of John grass in there plus weeds. So it'd be killing both of those items. And then another area where we're planting lawn seed to try to kill those weeds and let the lawn Bermuda grass grow.
Yeah, that complicates it because of the new grass seed and everything. We celebrated the rain, but it does change the situation.
Yeah, definitely.
But there are a lot of choices in terms of the broadleaf. I'd have a tendency to be a little conservative and let some of the weeds start and let the grass. The good news is that if it's Bermuda grass seed, it'll come up in about 3 days, and you
3 days in the Bermuda. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you could be mowing it in 3 weeks, or so then you could, once you get that established, then you can try to use a contact herbicide and get rid of some of those weeds that have showed up.
So which one would that be a choice of? To save the Bermuda but kill the weeds?
Well, I would guess that we have about 6 choices here at Milberger's, and I would review the labels. You review, try to identify some of the weeds, the main weeds.
Yeah.
And then on the labels, look for a herbicide that addresses those weeds that you got. And then the other thing that Mark is pretty sensitive to is the temperature. Some of the contact herbicides have do best.
I have notes from Professor Hazlitt.
Based on what the temperature is. So identify the. Give the Bermuda grass a little chance to get settled, and then identify the weeds. Review the labels, or just go to your phone or your computer and say, "These are the weeds I got. What's the best way recommended?" And then check that label, and then go ahead and follow the instructions. Mark, do you have any?
No, I have notes from Professor Hazlitt that I keep all the time. So weed-free zone is the one that you can only use between 40 degrees and 85 degrees. So currently that's not the one to use. Now he has one on we have one on our shelves that's weed clear. That would take care of that. I think there's a couple other choices. But that's why Calvin was asking whether broadleaf or grassy.
And you can take pictures of the weeds and bring them in and say, "Hey, here's what I have. What do I use to kill it?" Yeah. That might be easiest.
Well, you got to be. Is somebody going to review the label for her?
Yeah, sure. Just ask them to.
I
don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's best, and it's.
You should review the label too, but yes, just
right.
Yeah.
So one that Trey says recommended was weed clear.
Weed clear?
Weed clear or the Bermuda grass. Okay. Now, what about the general, like getting rid of just all the weeds in the garden? What would that be? What would I want?
Well, it depends again. Now, like
read the labels.
If it's not sedge, then you use sedgehammer.
How do you spell that, sedgehammer? Because I heard you talking about it.
Yeah. And, or if it's a vegetable garden, there's some real limitations. They have to be. The label has to allow you to use it in a food product.
Yeah, it's called. I think that one's called Over the Top.
Yeah.
But read the label.
Nancy, we have to go to news. You want to hang on a second,
All right,
or do we answer your question? Okay,
All
good.
Right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you again for your patience.
Bye-bye.
Sorry about that.
We can talk to you more, Nancy.
All right, we'll take a quick break and be back after this on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas. We're still waiting. This is what happens with live radio. Adriana, if you're out there, come on up to the porch here at Milberger's. But I think she has a long way to come from home, so there may be traffic.
All the way from Georgia?
Yes, all the way from Georgia.
Okay.
She's driven here from Georgia. So we'll talk to her as soon as she gets here about the Arboretum San Antonio. All right, 210-308-8867 is our number. Calvin, what's going on in the gardening world? I got a mulch question. Yes, no?
Yeah.
A mulch question.
Yeah.
So what's the difference, and when should I use one over the other between a synthetic mulch and a wood mulch, a natural mulch? Why are you making that noise?
It's a great question, and I get it quite often.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, you can use, most of us are inclined to use an organic mulch.
Okay.
And, of course, we got lots of choices. If you got live oaks, that's one of my favorite mulches, live oak leaves, because they're easy to use, they have relatively long life, and they're effective. And then bark and chopped wood is another one. I just had a piece of my pecan fall down, so I said, well, I better not wait any longer. So I had the arborist come and
prune it,
cut it, kind of at least thin out the ones that were most threatening, and chop up the other ones that were in the yard, and so I got piles now of wood, and that works pretty well. Easy to use, so you got lots of choices.
People always ask about the difference between compost and mulch.
Oh, okay.
And compost is totally decomposed mulch, if you will. It's usually mixed in with some other stuff and everything like that. And compost you can use in the bed and over the lawn. Mulch you can only use in beds, because it's the semi-decomposed or undecomposed pieces of wood or bark. I like bark. It tends to last longer.
Okay.
And come back compost to decompose. Compost is pretty valuable to be using as a mulch. It works well, but it's a short term because it keeps decomposing and disappears. That's why. If you use you use compost in enriching your garden bed, you generally, it's recommended that you refresh it every couple years because it just keeps decomposing.
Yeah. Okay, so I imagine plastic doesn't decompose.
No. Or rubber.
Or rubber, that's what I meant. I'm saying rubber.
No, it's scary sometimes that I can read your mind.
Yeah, I don't. No, you don't want to go there.
So that was quite often, can I use rubber and can I get a rebate on that? Or so I'm going, no, only organic products.
Okay. And why is that?
because organic products provide nutrition over the years as they decompose.
Okay.
Well, and there's the big issue there too is that the threat to the environment, all those plastics.
Okay.
And there's still a lot of argument whether if you use them appropriate and according to the law and everything, then you shouldn't be much of a threat to the environment. But quite often it turns out that there is, and that it's a complex question, and a question that's got a long-term impact on us. But it can be kind of pretty. Some of those.
Some of it is pretty. Now that also begs the question on rock.
Oh, okay.
So what the Edwards Aquifer Authority is finding out at their research station in northeast Bexar County is that large rock does reduce the soil temperature. But on the upside is it increases ambient air temperature on the surface side. So subsurface, they're reducing soil temperature.
So the roots are happy, but the
people are not.
Okay.
Or the branches, the green branches, or the stem of the whatever plant or tree that you have is actually burning up.
Okay, so we're back to the wood mulch.
Wood or pine bark.
Okay.
Or leaves, oak leaves that
the Calvin mentioned.
Yeah, and they are great.
And you just
how thick do you
have
do
to
them?
refresh them every
Excellent question.
Thank you.
Again, I was thinking about that same thing.
That's weird.
That's scary. What do you? The thing is, you don't have to. You can make a mistake. You can pile it on. You can keep it low. Okay. I think Calvin says about 4 to 6 inches.
Well,
okay. Wow.
For the figs, in the old days, there were folks that would use a foot of
oh my gosh
mulch on figs, but that I'm not sure was practical, and we don't 6 inches is
no. I was thinking of the leaves. How thick did you put the leaves?
You put them in there as thick as you have a supply.
Yeah.
So if you got 2 inches worth, quite often we will have 2 inches worth or 3 inches. That works, and then because you get new access every year.
Regular mulch, we try to keep it to 1.5 inches maximum.
Okay. So
a little bit every year does wonders.
Okay. But wow, where were we doing 4 inches? That's a lot more than.
Oh well, in the old days,
I still would prefer 4 inches.
Okay.
In the literature across the country, it was 2 to 4 inches was rule of thumb.
Okay.
And what I argued, and I think successfully, because you see it changing, is that in Texas weather, rainfall, other than this past week, other rainfalls we usually get are kind of sprinkles. And so you tend to be watering the mulch, not the soil. So you wanted a low amount, or just enough to cool the soil, provide the nutrients, but not so much that it would absorb standard rainfall.
Oh, that it would. Okay.
But I guess that's the bigger question too, because if you get your traditional 30 inches of rain here per year, then 4 inches of mulch is you've got enough rain coming, and you've got a couple 3 months when you get serious, when most of the rain comes, so the soil gets wet, and then the mulch keeps it wet, or has the potential to keep it wet. And what Mark's talking about is that the mulch in the short term can limit the access to the water. Now, when you get 6 inches of rain, it doesn't limit the access.
But okay, so you're saying
even if you probably notice, and most gardeners notice this, if we get one of our 0.1 inch of rain,
right?
If you have big shade trees, a lot of that water does not make it
down to
to
whether
the
you've got mulch or not, or just whether if you have mulch.
And it's gets intercepted by the leaves, and then a lot of it eventually evaporates rather than gets into the soil. So it's not a simple question.
Okay. No, I was something came to mind while you were talking about it, but we talked about deep watering, and our guest is on her way. We talked about watering strategies. Mark, you want to?
Oh yes. So this is a pet peeve of mine.
Oh dear.
For South Texans, a lot of times they tend to be angry at the lawn, and they stand above it with their hose and sprayer and spraying down on it. And one thing I learned from my father is you have a hose and sprayer, and you're either sitting on the stoop on the front porch, or you're sitting in a nice lawn chair, and you have your sprayer at a nice 45-degree angle, much like a rain.
Oh, okay.
So you're not watering down on the plants. You're
kind of watering across.
A nice 45-degree angle or more.
Oh,
just
so like that?
Down. Yeah.
Okay.
No, like that. 45.
Oh.
That's 45.
Okay,
that's
but where
90.
is... So your water's going up and then down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's watering the plants. And and if you sit in a nice lawn chair listening to... My father listened to the Tigers, so, or you can listen to the Astros or Rangers, and just sit there with a nice beverage and water. That's the way to water.
Okay. So for
I just saw another woman this morning. She was very angry at her plants, and she was watering down on top of them. And I'm like, why? Be nice to your plants.
Do you water angry?
I don't water the lawn.
Oh, okay. But you don't have to
anymore because I've got, like a lot of the areas, a lot of neighborhoods in San Antonio area, the trees have matured and we got a lot of shade. So I have a tendency to rely on drip irrigation, or now when we're in drought restrictions, you get access to the drip irrigation 1 day a week, and if you, which has been the case, if you need to water more, you got to do hand watering.
Right.
And so that I have a lot of plants in containers.
Oh, okay.
So I don't sit there very long.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Long. I don't know that I get angry with him.
I don't know. Mark says everybody gets angry.
No, but you're using a wand, correct?
No, I use a hose.
Do the hose with a thumb?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Midwestern way.
So, okay, so should you... So I'm going to water.
Yeah.
Do I do a deep watering by hand, or do I do kind of a light but more frequent watering? Any thoughts?
You can do both.
Okay.
But it takes a lot of time if you're going to do a deep water.
Yeah. How long would it take to do with my thumb on the end of the hose thing?
It depends.
And I'm not angry.
Is it a container? If it's a container,
no. This is just the yard.
So that's what I was going to get to. Is it depends on the plant and the site, whether it's container or bed or lawn.
Well, and that's why we tell so many gardeners that they show us a symptom of the plant that is obviously dried out, and then it's easier to, it's more effective to say, they say, I water every week, but then you suggest that they dig in there and see if the root ball,
if it got the
soil is, and most of the times the soil is dry and the water is not penetrating. A 2 minute moving hose is not going to penetrate to a root ball very quickly.
All right, and so I'm going to water by hand, or I'm going to water on my watering day. Now, I don't have a lot of choice in terms of time when I can water on my water day. It's chosen for me. But
that's why a hand watering is better. You
Right.
can water anytime or any day.
So do you suggest I water in the morning or in the evening, or when is the
Always.
best time to water?
Always. Morning
Okay.
or evening.
Okay.
And or evening.
So there's no difference in success between the two.
If you're using a sprinkler or in-ground,
Yeah.
you try to not do it in the evening because we naturally have a higher evaporation rate because the wind comes up about 8 o'clock. And so you don't want to do that. But if you have the irrigation in the morning, you tend to have less irrigation. However, the plants really, really, really want water in the afternoon.
After they've been sitting in the sun for all.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's the you had the balance between the two. If I were doing it, I always like to give water in the evening. At dusk.
So if you're hand watering, you can do it right at dusk.
Both of them are
pretty
Those
close.
are the times you want to do it regardless.
So when after the big rain assuming if you got like 4 to 6 inches of rain, when would you say to water again? What I don't know what any of that means. What are you just pointing down to the brownies?
No, it means is what Calvin had said is you put your finger down.
Okay.
Or a lot of plants, it's pretty obvious when they need water.
Okay.
Yeah, begonias and pentas and zinnias. A lot of them signal when they're ready. They get more.
You want if they are wilted still in the morning. That's a big sign.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of plants will wilt in the afternoon. They may have water during the night. They may rehydrate themselves, but if they are wilted in the morning, that is a sign to immediately water.
You can't be a prisoner of your plants either. That defeats. I mean that defeats the whole
you want to be
purpose.
efficient. You want
to.
Especially now when we're really focusing on being as efficient as possible with that water.
Yeah. Plus, you've got a job, you've got a family.
Okay.
And so you want your garden to meet your needs and satisfy you, and you want to enjoy it. You don't want it to be a huge challenge that makes you unhappy.
I'm just trying. No, I don't think it would make me unhappy. It's just I got to choose a time, and it's like, do I choose in the morning? What is best? I want to use my time watering as efficiently as possible.
But that's that's kind of a waste of time because the difference is so subtle.
Oh, okay.
And the difference is dependent on what kind of soil you got, what kind of plant you got, how much sun, and how much time you have. If it's a subtle,
Yeah.
And if you water, say 3, 4, or 5 in the morning, if you have any automatic irrigation system, you may run the risk of fungi developing in your lawns. Not so much plants, but in your lawns.
Okay.
So you don't want to do it at that point in time. Best time, again, in the evening or in the morning.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. While we do, give us a call, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Let us help you with your gardening questions. Back after this on 9:30 a.m., The Answer. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. I'm Milton Glueck, along with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson, who you know. And Adriana Quinones is here with us. She's the CEO of the Arboretum San Antonio. Did I get the order right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got it wrong yesterday, so I'm going to remember it.
Yeah.
We've actually not met.
Oh, no.
No, we haven't officially met.
We haven't officially met, so my name has been banted around.
Oh, dear.
And I was involved early on with Tom and with some of the other people. I did see a video that was produced by the city, and the the young person was talking about how some of the old arborists, some of the older arborists went through and identified trees. I'm like going, I don't feel old. Why is this young kid going older arborist?
No.
So. But anyway, I would love to have you talk a little bit about.
Perhaps that was just like they meant more experienced.
Experienced, I think, is probably
No. But they said old.
I know what they said. Let's put a positive spin on it so you don't feel bad about it.
Exactly.
So anyway,
Adriana, tell us about Arboretum San Antonio. What is it? It's in the beginning stages.
It's in the beginning stages. We're just getting started. It's actually been, as we know, going on for the idea of it since before 21, but that's when Henry Cisneros wrote an op-ed piece and kind of made it public what he was thinking. And
cool.
But we just finished our master plan, announced it. It's on our website if you want to see it.
And the website is?
arboretumsa.org. O-R-G. And so we're getting ready to embark on actually building it out now. So that'll probably take a couple years to do. We got to raise some money.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we are on our way, and we're looking forward to having people out on the grounds and doing some things if we can before then. Yeah.
Is it a nonprofit or
it is a nonprofit? So it's a 501c3, so completely private nonprofit. However, we have a public-private partnership both with the city and the county. And so they have helped us tremendously as we've gotten started to, find the land, buy the land, help us get going, and that sort of thing. So, and we're going to continue that relationship.
I was going to say, would you tell us where it is?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know where it is, and that's very important.
It is on the southeast side of San Antonio, off of Military Drive. And if you were to take 37/281 down towards Brook City Base and get off at Military Drive there and then head east, you just maybe a mile down the road and it's right out there. It's the Old Republic Golf Course.
Yeah. And so what is the purpose? So there are multiple purposes, honestly.
Yes.
That it will serve to the citizens of San Antonio and South Texas. What are some of those purposes that you guys have in mind?
Yeah. So, of course, the major purpose is to have a beautiful collection of trees, a place where people can go and see these trees and experience trees. Henry likes to call it the cathedral of trees. And it's beautiful, a place for respite, a place to get out in nature, a place to experience that. But of course, there's always other things as well. We want to educate our public. We want to do some research on trees. As our climate changes, we want to know what are the best trees that will grow best here. Everyone knows some of our trees are struggling, although we had that incredible rain the other day. And but what was that? The most rain in 12 years or something ridiculous like that.
One single day.
And I don't think it's going to continue. So our trees are still going to struggle a little bit. So, what are those trees that will do best in this, kind of changing climate, changing San Antonio, doing some research. So we'll work with the universities, work with researchers, work with other people who are doing trees, work with other arboretums.
Yeah, what about some of the more experienced arborists?
Yeah, we want those experienced arborists to come out and help us and work with us and help evaluate some of the trees and give us ideas and suggestions of what we should be growing, that kind of thing. So,
I think a lot of that, the ultimate mission statement and goals were developed over a period of time with a lot of input from the city and the community.
Yeah.
Because, I meant community, but because there was a lot of ideas going around. An arboretum has some function in other parts of the country, but we want to kind of meld it here for San Antonio. So a lot of input was developed with a group, a private group. I can't remember what their name was.
Well, we had an advisory group, but they did a great job. But the other great part of that was we had our pop-ups, we had community meetings, we had all kinds of stuff. We actually interacted with well over 18,000 people in our community. So that's a lot of people to give input into what this final master plan was. And that is one of the other big reasons to have the Arboretum, is a place for community to come together and experience this nature.
Well, and then we also have that history, water conservation,
Yes.
and our volunteer organizations.
That's right.
That we want to make sure we continue that relationship.
Yes.
And take advantage of the success we've had in attacking some of those issues that we have as a community.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems like it's an ideal concept and park kind of idea that fits right in on top of that success we've had with water conservation and the requirement that we have to continue that.
Yeah, and of course you all know, but just in case people listening don't, we have the Salado Creek that runs right through there. So that's a really important waterway. Runs right back into the San Antonio River, and so protecting that and preserving that is really important too. Plus, again, people need to be in nature more, right? That's ultimately that's what we need to do. We need to get people in nature and touching the water, touching the trees, touching the plants. That's how you gain that appreciation and that understanding. And I always say, also, we need more trees. We just need more trees. There's a dearth of trees, especially on the south side. And so making sure that we are planting trees and getting trees out into the public so that they're planting the right trees and that sort of thing. So,
and then we've got that history, or we've got all that research that indicates how important planting and gardening is to youth.
Our youth
and education and civic action.
That's right. I always say,
amazing.
Our youth is obviously our future. We say that all the time, but it's up to us to teach them to appreciate that. So we need to get them out there. Not just the Arboretum, but all green spaces. The big thing is, I always tell people we're not in competition with any other green space. We are a complement to all those green spaces, and I think I might have said it before, but I don't remember. I'll say it again anyway. That is part of the beauty of having the Arboretum on the southeast side is it kind of makes this emerald necklace around our city. We don't have a lot of things down there, but we have all the northern and things, and now putting that down there, we're completing our emerald necklace around our city.
Like that.
Yeah.
All right. 210-308-8860. I'm just giving you our phone number. I don't know.
It's just by habit.
Yeah, just out of habit. But Adriana Quinones is our guest today. She is the Arboretum San Antonio CEO. We're talking about that. And then I'm trying to think of other stuff, but I want to talk about one of the things that you've talked about is research. But one of the things that you and I talked about before, too, was history of the area and the trees and their significance to the people that were living in that area. So that's going to also be, I guess that's part of the educational.
Yeah. Of course, we know that the indigenous people lived here and did their lives here. They used a lot of the plants medicinally and for structure and for anything you can think of, food. And there is some evidence that they were directly on that site. Some research a few years back was done where they were able to find some pottery shards out there and things like that. Not a real like we don't have a settlement there or anything like that, but we know they obviously with the Salado Creek they were there. We have 250-year-old trees out there, just beautiful. These large trees, a lot because it wasn't a golf course, but they did not cut down those trees that were along the Salado. They kept those, so that's why we have so many large trees out there. But celebrating the lives of those indigenous people who came before us is a real big part of it. We want to have collections of trees, the kinds that they would have used and grown. And then we want to partner with our indigenous community to have them come and show us what their history was. I think it's really important to do that, to not just say, hey, we have indigenous people who did this and here's what we think they did, but to actually partner with those that actually are those people. I think that's a really important part, and that's what we're trying to do.
That's not going to be easy.
It's not. But, my favorite thing in the world is to partner with people, and I always say, what can the Arboretum do for your group? How can we help you advance your mission at the same time advancing our mission? And so finding ways to collaborate and partner with them is really, really important.
But it does sound pretty exciting when you add that to the success we've had with water conservation.
That's right.
And with the gardening and contributing to the education success of our youth by getting their parents and them interested in gardening.
Yeah, if we can partner with somebody who wants to do youth education out there and different kinds of conservation work and that sort of thing, those are the people we're looking for to partner with.
And is wildlife preservation? I think it is part of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we're about the trees.
Yes.
It's an arboretum, but with trees come all the wildlife, right?
Right.
So we are also on that migratory route for birds, and so working with Mitchell Lake and trying to make that connection of here's where the birds come through, and they come through our property a lot. I've seen quite a few birds. I love birds, so I think when you love nature in general, you love all nature. So I do love the birds. I love the animals. I have this kind of running list of all the animals I've seen so far out there.
Oh, really? How many things?
I don't know how many I've seen. I can tell you.
What was the one that surprised you the most?
Well, I can't confirm it because the video of it is not clear enough. But there is something that is way larger than a house cat, and it is very cat-like.
Interesting.
and it, I want to say it's a bobcat, but I can't say for sure that it was a bobcat. But you figure this land has sat since at least 2020 without any real people on it. It's 200 acres plus all the surrounding land that's not being developed right now. So it's easy to think that some of these animals could have moved into this area. So we also have feral hogs and the normal. I've seen fox, I've seen armadillo, I've seen skunks and possum and raccoons and all those things.
You just let some of our neighborhoods know if you need any deer or anything out there.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of that.
I don't think we want to add any animals into the Arboretum, but we welcome the ones that are there. Maybe not the hogs, but
those hogs can be problematic.
They're problematic. Yeah.
How about? I know it's early in the process, but how have the universities reacted? I mean, is it going to be new topics that their students can study, new research opportunities, or?
I hope so. We are in.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we've talked to people from UTSA. We've talked to Palo Alto College with their horticulture students. Have been out a few times now. We are talking to Texas A&M, Trinity, even Incarnate Word. I just talked to a professor out there. So I think there's lots of opportunities for the students to learn things, and it complements what they're trying to do. A lot of these universities don't have a place to do it. You think of Trinity or Incarnate Word as beautiful campus, but how can they do tree research, on those campuses? They can do it on the trees that are currently there, but having a program set up that does something really specific and has a thing. So,
well, be careful what you say, because we've criticized Trinity occasionally, and they have.
We have?
They have let us know.
Not me.
Let us know that.
That's right. We're just going to leave it.
Please send your card.
We've been invited out there to see all their wonderful wildflowers and trees, and their interest and their students' interest in that same kind of kind of topics.
One of our advisory board members is a Trinity professor.
Oh,
So
what?
I know.
Kelly Lyons.
I was going to say, I know who it is.
Yeah,
don't bring Calvin's name up.
Yeah. So especially those like the environmental science students, the biology students. I mean, there's just so many things, and we do want. Part of one of the main things we do is research. Whether that's
I can think of one topic right off.
What's that?
Oh.
And you know where it is. We have a very a cliff, if you will, of very dry xeric plants. And then it comes all the way down right to the creek.
Yep.
And you can notice the difference in plants as it goes down. And I really would like to have the students study some of that as well. So that would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
To identify that the various site characteristics that would have been involved in that, and how it changed. The plant changes. The plant community changes. The further down you get towards a more xeric. Mesic site.
Yeah, when you, I know where I know what you're talking about, and
I know you do.
and it's very dramatic. I mean, I think that's some of the beauty of San Antonio is we have so many different kinds of ecosystems here that we can study.
It's great, isn't it?
It is. I mean, for those that love plants, it's wonderful.
I want to keep going, but just real quick, our guest today, right here on the show, is Adriana Quinones. Did I do it right on the list?
You are doing so good.
Oh, thank you. CEO of Arboretum San Antonio. The website is arboretumsa.org. And let's do this real quick before we wrap it up.
He does much better with your name than he does with ours.
Oh, well, there you go. We practiced.
And he's been working with us for 20 years.
That's why.
Listen, Mr. Finch. But yeah, okay. So the people listening now are gardeners. They have that same love that you were talking about. So let's talk about opportunities for them to become involved. And how they do it.
Yeah. So again, we're just starting out, so we don't have a volunteer program. I'll just say it that way. We don't have it set up yet. We are working on it because we do have so much interest in people wanting to come out and do things out there, and there will be lots to do as we kind of develop these programs. We're working on activating our what we're calling phase 0, which is before we start building, and bringing in programming along with that, because we have a beautiful site, even if it's not built the way we want it to be yet. So if they want to get involved, I always tell people the easiest way to do it is go to our website, arboretumsa.org, and there's a little button that says contact us or something along those lines.
Yes, it says, yep.
And if you click that button, it basically just sends an email to me, and and you can say, hey, I want to volunteer. I think there's a little like checkoff box or something that says maybe like I'm interested in, or something like that. But and you can write a message on there that says, I really would like to volunteer. And then I've been collecting all those emails that say they want to volunteer and putting them in a database, so that when we do have opportunities, I can just send something out to people and say, hey, here's what we're going to be doing on such and such a date, and if you're interested, let me know. So that's kind of our activation of our volunteers right now. Eventually we'll have a much more robust and kind of clearer
But I think there's
version.
an advantage, too, because now you're on the ground floor of something that's going to be so exciting. I mean,
and you only get to be on the ground floor once, right?
Exactly.
Well, we do have, we mentioned this before, but you do have a great, the ground floor has got lots of successful volunteer organizations, lots of excited gardeners that have been involved in projects and are interested in new projects.
Yeah, and we've had volunteers out already, just to be clear. We've had quite a few groups come out, different other organizations that do volunteer work. Shout out to Workout Help Out, who's done a great job with us. And
I'm sure you've been invited to speak at a number of places.
Yes, and I'll take this moment to say, if you want me to come speak at your organization,
there you go. Good for you. No, good.
I am so willing to do that. Just hit that contact us button and say I would like you to come speak, and I will definitely come to your group or organization and speak about the Arboretum to you.
All righty. So I think we've covered everything. Guys, anything else? Mark, I know you've been a big part of this. Do you have any other questions or anything?
No.
Are you coming back out, Mark? Or?
Yeah,
okay, good.
I will be coming back out, and I will be putting my information in so you can send me out.
Oh, good. One volunteer already.
I just, when I was with the Texas Forest Service, I used to have to go out to the golf course and make sure certain trees, historic trees, were alive still. And
there you go.
So
that's what I was.
So when we get everything developed out there, people have to go out to see very unique. There are some very unique not to be found anywhere else in San Antonio.
What? Give us some ideas. Can you tell us? Spoiler alert?
Yeah, spoiler alert is I found, or actually, I didn't find it. Other people have found it. Trees which are not supposed to be here.
Oh.
A honey locust.
Yeah, there is. Mm-hmm.
So there is at least one, a nice big one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But they're not supposed to be anywhere 200 miles around here. And
What?
they're
Wow.
yes, and they're on there.
And it's natural. It's
yeah.
not. It's not. It's not in the planted area.
It's not
That is
planted
interesting.
area.
Yeah.
Well, be careful now, because remember that controversy of the folks cutting down trees that everybody may.
When certain landowners, when they found out that certain species were unique on their properties, would destroy them.
Oh.
So they wouldn't have to abide by any.
Anyone listening, don't do that.
Yeah.
We'll help you. We will help you protect your tree.
Yeah, well, we'll go through definitely go through a process to make those
Right.
kind of decisions.
Yeah.
And then there's some trees of controversy.
Ooh.
Yeah, there is.
Some are calling them green ash, and I'm going, well, let's make sure, because Mexican and Berlandier ash is real near here. So let's, although I have seen some green ash on this lotto, let's make sure. But I can see arborists already discussing this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm one of those.
I want to know what was 250 years old that you saw.
Well, they're the live oaks.
Okay.
The live oaks.
Of the ones that I used to have to go see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are the
They're-
historic ones?
Sure.
Yeah, they're
historic.
huge too. They're beautiful and huge. And,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show
Thank
and
you.
sharing this. If you didn't get that information, the website is arboretumsa.org. And if you're driving and just can't write it down, you can Google it, or just call me at the station or email me, milton@klup.com, and say you want to learn more, and I'll send you the information. Cool? Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for letting me come on and talk some
Did
more
great.
about the
No.
Arboretum.
No, it's a wonderful opportunity for our listeners. All right, we were going to say goodbye for today. What am I doing? Say goodbye for our break and come back in a moment with more Amelia's.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, no. So we're going to take a quick break and come back in a moment with more of Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. This is The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas. Great job by Adriana talking about the Arboretum San Antonio. Again, arboretumsa.org. Mike is on the line. Thanks for waiting, Mike. What's your question, sir?
Yeah, my question is, I have a maple tree planted out in the front yard, and I probably put it in there when I first got this house 20 years ago or better. And at the time, I didn't know that maybe it's not a good choice. But anyway, it survived. And the thing is, on the southwest side, or southwest quadrant, I guess it would be, the leaves on the maple tree are yellow, whereas the rest of the tree, they're all green. So do I need to put some fertilizer out there in that area of the roots, maybe?
Yeah, frankly, I'm surprised it hasn't occurred sooner.
How large is it now?
It's it's what, 50 feet tall, and
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm surprised it hasn't.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you located?
out in the west side of town, not too far from SeaWorld.
Huh.
So
West side of town. Yeah. Huh. Well, it must have been a good spot.
And
they prefer acid soil.
yeah, and a lot of them have been planted, but not a lot of them have survived.
You're being generous. 99% have died over time.
Oh.
So.
Did you say what kind of maple it was?
No, I didn't know. It's just
50,
I picked
you said
it up
50
at
feet tall, like a big live
maybe
oak
30
tree.
feet tall. I don't know. It's pretty tall, you know.
Yeah.
So
is it as tall as the power lines?
oh no, it's under the power line. So yeah.
Okay, it's not quite.
All right. So yes, chelated iron product. However, you'd apply that like a fertilizer. But you said that on the southwest side. You haven't seen any bark fall off or dead, flat areas on that side.
On the leaves, like when we have this drought and it's really, really bad, the leaves on the very top get like dark brown or black. They get burned.
Yes, yeah. So that side, the southwest, west side of the tree is going to have a lot of problems over time. And it's because it's so hot on that side, South Texas weather and sun. So water may be a little extra on the sides, so like up the north side and the south side of that, so that the tree can get some more moisture into that area. I fear that you may have some dead cambium on that side, what we call sun scald, where the sun has actually cooked the bark. And you may see it over time, kind of a flat area where the bark's falling off.
Okay.
But if it's lasted this long and gone that height without any serious yellowing, I applaud you. You must be doing something right.
Yeah, I got the.
You may have to prepare yourself for a gradual.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Gradual decline.
Exactly. Okay.
You know, but gosh, it's done so well so far that you probably got a bunch more years to enjoy it. But that's unusual. I'm not sure there's that many. Some of the maples that, like the maples that we have over there in the hill country.
Yeah.
We got a few but they don't get that big.
No.
Yeah.
A high yield iron plus or one of the chelated. That's a CH chelated iron products that you can get here.
High yield iron, huh?
High yield iron plus.
That's the easiest to use. Yeah.
That's the easiest to use. And probably the least expensive.
Okay, high yield iron plus. All right, yeah, that's what I thought.
All right, good luck.
Yeah,
Good work.
Question?
Yes, sir. What's that?
I have these. If you would picture about the size of 1 or 2 inches in diameter holes, instead of being a volcano up, it's the hole going down. What kind of an insect is in there?
Oh, in the same tree?
No, not in the tree. In my yard, around the house, basically.
Oh, so there's like a hole in the yard, in the lawn that's going down.
Right. They're little bitty holes, about an inch or 2 in diameter, but instead of a volcano going up, it's a volcano.
You haven't seen any of those black, big, bee-looking dragonfly kind of
called the cicada
killer. Oh.
There's a lot of them flying around, and they make a hole like that.
So, there's a big, large hornet bee-looking thing. It's called a cicada killer. That might be it. There's also something called a terrestrial crayfish. I don't know.
Because I see like dirt being kicked out or something every once in a while, but it rains and they all, I guess, get flooded and they go away. You know, they level out. There's no hole. Yeah. But then after a few days, the holes come back, and it's around the house.
Boy, that sounds more and more like a cicada killer.
Yeah.
They are a positive. They look fierce, but they're generally a real positive addition.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They look worse than their actual bite.
Yeah, I've never seen them. I've just seen the holes. Okay. If I watch it, you see something being kicked out.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that are like that. I'm trying to. I'm stalling because I'm trying to think of something else. But it's probably cicada killer, a big bug.
Okay.
A big wasp-looking thing.
Wasp bug. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just wondered what it was. I thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for calling. All right, we are got about 2 minutes left, and want to make sure we cover anything else. Anything you guys want to talk about in our last 2 minutes? Happy Father's Day, of course, to everybody out there.
Yeah. Well, just to remind everybody, we've got tropical milkweed here. I think we still got porterweed and mist flower.
Yeah. Hey, want to talk about that John Fennick phlox?
Yeah, I'm gonna
over
get
there?
one.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Calvin.
I've seen quite a few that have moved out with customers, but
Yes, I know, but I think it's because they walk by and go, "What
Yes.
is that aroma?"
smells like lilacs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're
That's
from the
right.
north.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah, if you're from the north, you get near it, you'll end
gonna
up
buy
with it
one.
in your wagon.
I got to pick out a good one, and I was asking Mary, can you help me pick out a good one? She said, I've looked at them. They're all good.
Yeah.
Some of them,
Oh, and they grow fast.
yeah.
They really do well in a big container.
Okay.
That's wrong.
Or- I'll do.
Orderly looking,
Yeah.
Okay.
disciplined.
I'm going to get one, I don't know, probably this week sometime.
Okay. You want to
Don't wait too
You
long.
want to pick one out for me? Just when you walk.
You
by?
when I walk by? Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, we can go. Cool. So I need, it's like there's some that are blooming, some that aren't blooming, that are getting ready to bloom. So anyway, all righty. Well, listen, we're going to wrap it up for today. Great show. Thanks for everybody for being a part of it. Happy Father's Day. And from Mill Burgers and everybody. And we will see you next week back at Mill Burgers.